Okay, I'd like to call this meeting to order. Thursday, June 18th, 2020, Ross Board of Education regular meeting. Before we do roll call, just want to introduce the people who are at our meeting tonight. Starting over here with my left, we have our treasurer, John Kinsel. Next person is Amy Webb, Vice President of Board of Education. My name is Sean Van Winkle, I'm the President of the Board of Education. This is Heather Hayes, Board Member. Andrew Chanel, Board Member. Ed Bossy, Board Member. We have Steve Castater, our Director of Personnel. Also in attendance tonight, we have Becky Tompkins, who's our Curriculum Director. And although we're not having public participation at this meeting, I did want to make a comment that this has all been new to us, and this is the first time we've been back together, is our June meeting. So although we didn't allow public participation, I just want to let everyone know that on the Ross Rams website is everybody's contact information. So if you ever have questions or concerns or anything, everything will be on that website. And then hopefully next month we'll be back to close to normal, but we'll make sure we post that to the public. So with that being said, John Kinsel, can you roll call, please?
Yes. Mr. Van Winkle?
Yes.
Mrs. Webb?
Here.
Mr. Bossy?
Yes.
Mrs. Hayes?
Here.
And Mr. Chanel?
Here.
Okay, let's stand for Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Mr. Castater, could you, are there any changes to the agenda?
We have one change on Schedule D of the Personnel section. Shelley Turco, it's listed on the agenda currently as 80 additional days. That should be changed to 80 additional hours.
Board members, please note that, so when we vote, it'll be 80 hours. Mr. Castater, do you want to?
Under number 4, we are voting, asking for approval for the June 9th, 2020 minutes.
June 9th, 2020 minutes. Can I get a motion for that? First motion?
Motion.
Mrs. Hayes. Second?
Second.
Mr. Chanel. Roll call, Mr. Kinsel.
Yeah, Mrs. Hayes?
Here. Yes.
Mr. Chanel?
Yes.
Mr. Van Winkle?
Yes.
Mrs. Webb?
Yes.
And Mr. Bossy?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead with the next stuff, Mr. Castater.
Under number 5, recommending approval for all 4 items at once here, the letters A through D.
Okay. Recommendation is on the agenda A through D. A through D. Can we get a first motion for that, please?
Motion.
Mrs. Webb. Can we get a second?
Second.
Mr. Chanel. Roll call, Mr. Kinsel.
Mrs. Webb?
Yes.
Mr. Chanel?
Yes.
Mr. Van Winkle?
Yes.
Mr. Bossy?
Abstain.
Abstain.
And Mrs. Hayes?
Yes.
Mr. Kinsel, go right into the treasurer's report, please.
Yeah, on the treasurer's report, I would like to block A through G. One vote.
Okay, recommendation is to block A through G from the treasurer. Can we get a first?
First.
Mr. Chanel.
Second.
Mrs. Webb. Roll call, Mr. Kinsel.
Mr. Chanel?
Yes.
Mrs. Webb?
Yes.
Mr. Van Winkle?
Yes.
Mr. Bossy?
Yes.
And Mrs. Hayes?
Yes.
And tonight we have 2 committee reports. First one is going to be the legislative update. Board member Ed Bossy will have the legislative report.
I have a hard copy here. Short and brief.
Basically, we're all aware that we're waiting for some guidance from 2 different departments at the state level to help us structure returning to class this fall. And unfortunately, we're still waiting for those reports. They were expected earlier this week, they expected yesterday, they expected today, they expected tomorrow, but we'll get those and will allow us to start some discussions as it pertains to next year. We get some guidelines on how to structure returning to class this fall. Second topic is state funding for the school year next year. And forever, I can never not remember being guaranteed our monies, but next year there is no guarantee for anything. And so the best guess is that the state's position won't be known as it pertains to funding, which is almost half of our income. Half of our income comes from the state. We won't know until the end of July. We'll be into the year, maybe a month already into the fiscal year, school year, and it definitely is a cut, is expected. There is a significant shortfall of state revenue, and unfortunately the state can't print money like the federal government can, and so they have to balance the budget. We will be cut again like we did this past year. Third topic, House Bill 164 has been kicked around for months. The governor is finally expected to sign this bill on Friday, maybe Monday. I think he's trying to make it a pomp and circumstance type of signing. It provides flexibility for the district's operations in the year 2021. And it does increase state funding as it pertains to the CARES Act, federal monies that were sent down to the state, and that somehow will get then divided back up. Unfortunately, what we sense is that the wealthiest districts will probably get most of the money. The wealthiest.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they were cut the
Gotcha,
most,
okay, gotcha.
and therefore they're going to get reimbursed.
Makes sense. That
And,
usually never happens.
We're going to probably stay neutral on,
Right.
on the side of it there. But there's one other comment in the bill that just confused me and bothers me. It's going to allow the director of the Ohio Office of Budget and Management the ability to freeze state employee pay increases for fiscal year 21. I have no idea what that means, but that's a unique statement, those words put together in a sentence. So, pay freezes for the next year. The other one that's worth commenting on is Senate Bill number 4, which the governor is expected to sign also. It gives $300 million to the Ohio Facilities Construction Commission for new school construction projects next year. So they're still going to be driving the beat on throughout Ohio to upgrade the school systems by allocating $300 million to that particular department, even though operations of schools are going to be cut money. So it's a little bit, you know, what's wrong with a year sabbatical or catch up or type of thing. But, and then the only other comment, the House is shut down now for the next 2 months. There won't be any meetings, but the Senate is going to be meeting 1 day per month through the fall. That's the latest and the greatest from the state legislative perspective.
Does anybody have any questions for Mr. Bossy for the legislative report? Thank you for condensing all that. There's so much going on, and it racks your head, but this is really good information. Thank you so much. Butler Tech report. We had a Zoom meeting Tuesday of this week. On board docs on Ross Ram website, you'll see an attached document under Butler Tech report. It's the student success newsletter that they produce, and I'm going to try to upload that every month. It's really, they do a really good job. Butler Tech does with that. One of the highlights of that report is throughout the county, throughout Butler County, around 60 students are going into the military throughout Butler County. 7 students, according to the newsletter, it could be one or two, but 7 students from Ross have won a $10 here. So, and they did a nice little section on it in the newsletter for that. Butler Tech applications for next year. 2,184 applied for Butler Tech this year, as of Tuesday night. Approximately 800 will be accepted. So 2,184 and 800 accepted. The graduation ceremony, Butler Tech still plans on doing a in-person graduation August 3rd at the Cintas Center, Xavier University. If they're capable of doing it properly. And Butler Tech leadership is going to make that decision on July 3rd. But they haven't been left out. They did drive-through graduations and all that stuff already, so they have at least offered something similar to Ross doing the virtual. And then the very last thing on the report is Butler Tech is still talking about a 3-tiered plan to open school. 1 being fully open, 2 being modified days, and the 3rd one being remote learning. I think every board member expressed the fact that they would like to see Butler Tech fully open, but that'll happen within the next few weeks as far as that. So that is all for the Butler Tech report. Does anybody have any questions regarding that? Don't ask me what they're going to do with the 1,300 that didn't get in.
It's just a minor, we'll have to follow up on it. On our report, the school,
Yep.
we said there's only 6 going to the military.
Yeah, and that's why I said approximate. They had 7 names listed, and then I think I can count 7. It could be 6, but it had 7 names listed, so give or take, that's why I said that. Yeah. Okay, so no more questions for Butler Tech? Okay, we'll go ahead and go to final board comments. We'll start on my left with Mrs. Webb.
So I just have 2 comments. One is on the virtual graduation that we just had. And I know one individual is standing in the room that was instrumental in this, Mrs. Robin Baker. He's actually filming us right now for a board meeting. But I just want to thank all of the people that helped to put this special day and a special time together for the graduating class of 2020. I have gotten so much positive feedback from community members. I know the administration at the high school has received several emails from parents just thanking them for truly making this. It was a once-in-a-lifetime event, but I got to be honest with you, I think it was very, very special. It was very, very well received, and the students will remember that forever. So thank you, Robin. Thank you to the counselors. Thank you to the administration. I know that the students really appreciated the time and effort that went into that. And then the second thing is the calendar. Most community members received our updated calendar. We are pushing the start of school to after Labor Day. And several reasons for that, and one in particular was to really give us time and teachers time and the district time to make sure we come back and we come back right. When we come back the right way, we have the right equipment and we have the right safety precautions put in place for students so that, and staff and faculty, just to give everybody a little bit more time. So that was kind of a rationale behind the calendar decision. And that's all I have.
Thank you. I wanted to publicly thank Robin Baker for coming in on this beautiful June 18th evening and filming our board meeting tonight. And thank you so much. Again, just proves that so many of our staff members go above and beyond what the call of duty is. Wanted to thank everyone that was involved with the food program. There were so many people involved. Karen really led the way, and that was a special thing for our district, and that was really appreciative. Tonight, we board approved a new Chromebook program, and another step of Ross just being one of the best districts in Southwest Ohio and having that ability to go one-on-one with our students. I believe K through 12 now. A lot of people worked on that and worked on the numbers and worked on things, and I wanted to thank John Kinsel for his work. Andy Claver and Becky Tompkins And then board member Andy Chanel was also very instrumental in getting that put together and making sense for us financially in our district. So wanted to thank all those people.
Yeah, thanks, Andy.
Heather Hayes?
Pretty good. I again just want to thank Robin and everyone at the high school for all your hard work. I again got a lot of compliments to pass on to the staff, and wanted to thank you from the bottom of our hearts. That was very special for our students. And just thanks for all that everybody's doing during this time.
Mr. Chanel?
Yeah, I think everyone's kind of, I don't want to reiterate what everyone else has already said, but kudos to Brian and everyone that was involved in the graduation video. One thing that wasn't mentioned that I thought was really cool was the senior parade.
Oh, yeah.
I was not on the route for that, but a portion of the parade ended up passing by my house, and my kids loved it. It was really cool experience. So thanks everyone who's involved with that.
So are you challenging Mr. Mark that he has to do that every year?
It might be me, yeah. So,
Uh,
I did. There were a couple of votes from, yeah. So really cool.
Mr. Boston?
Two separate thoughts. I've already saluted Ryan Martin and the high school team. It just was a fabulous, total creative experience, particularly the caravan parade. Enjoyed that on Jennifer Drive. We had a lot of families out on the road with signs. Proud of that they came out and saluted the parade as such, the caravan. And the one that came by with a boat, that was something special. The music was great. Dancing was great. I even had to go out and dance a little bit because we had a lot of big signs on Jennifer Drive. So we supported the effort. And again, salute to Brian and the high school team. The second item is, I could wait till another day, but since I already had it out, private school enrollment has dropped from 171,000 in the last 10 years to about 146,000. That's could be good, but the word I've got, the concern I have is that could be bad because there's going to be a lot of money sent to lobbyists to work with the legislators to increase the funding because the numbers are down. So it's going to be a very challenging year as we move forward here. This fiscal year until next June when the new budget, two-year budget comes out. So that's it.
Okay, just wanted to announce that our next board meeting is July 23rd here at the district office boardroom. We're hoping that it will be open to the public at that point, but if it's not, we will give well enough advance in that. And again, if anybody has public comments or questions, feel free to reach out to anyone on our website. All the information is there. So our next step is we're going to be going into executive session for two reasons. One, for the 2021 planning of the timeline and benchmarks for school next year, and also to do the superintendent and treasurer evaluations. Can I get a motion to go into executive session, please?
Motion.
Mrs. Webb, can I get a second?
Second.
Mrs. Hayes, roll call. Mr. Kensel?
Yeah. Mrs. Webb?
Yes.
Mrs. Hayes?
Yes.
Mr. Van Winkle?
Yes.
Mr. Bossy?
Yes.
And Mr. Chanel?
Yes.
Okay, that concludes our meeting this evening. Thank you.
7:25. 7:20, I'm sorry.